Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is Mike Colleen at MikeColleen.com. Alright, so this is a takeoff from the last video, Addiction Healing, or Addiction Free Healing Master, the video that was just before this one. So what I did is I kept the very last, let's say 4 or 5 minutes from the last video, because it was a really long video, and the best piece was the very end to help you understand something about emotional freedom and how that frees you from your addictions. Now, what does this have to do with narcissist abuse? Everything, because it's all about narcissist abuse. And or if you have an addiction because of something, the way you let go of it is the same way you let go of the negative emotions that were produced from narcissist abuse. Alright, so, okay, here's something that I've been wanting to make a video about for months now, okay? And I've tried to explain it different ways, and I realized here's a simple way of explaining it in a big picture. The reason why we came to the planet was to remember how to open back up, to be completely and totally emotionally free, to think what we want, to do what we want, to come and go as we please, to just be happy, enjoy life, and have this open, expansive emotional freedom. Now, all your problems, literally all your problems, your stress, your anxiety, your panic, your guilt, your fear, your shame, they all come from the same exact place. It's from being in that logical box, being closed down in that tiny narrow view, like you're looking under a microscope or a magnifying glass. So it's like you're looking down a very narrow tube, and all you see is that problem. And so it's the same thing equivalent. It's something they taught us during our NLP training. It's the way we use our brain on an unconscious level. We call it shifting submodalities, okay? Alright, so have you ever, let's say you had to go somewhere, but you wanted to get this one water bottle, okay, but you couldn't find it. Even though you had 5 other brand new water bottles, you had to have this one, and you looked, and you're like, I could have sworn I put it here. So what's happened is you're stuck down, hold on. So you're stuck down at the very tip of this. Now, here's the deal. When you're inside this funnel, you can't get out in this tip, and this is where anger and frustration and all fear and shame and guilt and stress, this is why you're stressful. Now, what I do is I teach people how to flip this around to where you're at the open end, where you can just you can breathe and relax. So physically what happens is your brain physically opens up, or your neurology opens up, your pupils open up, they become larger, and they pull apart, and now you're seeing the wider, open, larger, bigger picture. And when you're in that part of your brain, which is the right brain, it physically relaxes you, and now your lungs can breathe because your muscles, your diaphragm muscle, all that is relaxed, and now you can breathe deep and easy, and it feels really good. Now, this is where your higher intelligence is. I don't mean some big spiritual thing. I literally mean you're accessing a larger part of your smarter part of your brain, literally, and you are connecting. It's like your neurology opens up, so now you have connections to all these different areas of your brain, so you get information faster. You can see the bigger picture. You see how the pieces of the puzzle fit together, so suddenly things start to make sense. And it's all done in a very relaxed, smooth, flowing kind of way. It's literally natural. There's no thinking here. Ideas come to you, you don't go to them. The other thing that happens that makes you access a higher level of intelligence is because you're relaxed, you're breathing deeper. Because you're breathing deeper, you're getting more oxygen into your bloodstream through your lungs, okay? Oxygen is the brain's #1 fuel source, and glycogen, or glycose, is the #2 fuel source. For every molecule of oxygen, two glycogen, am I saying, yeah, glycogen or glucose molecules are piggyback riding. So your brain is getting its number 1 and number 2 fuel sources. And guess what? Those 2 fuel sources are also the number 1 and number 2 fuel sources for your muscles. So now you're stronger. Guess what? Athletes function a lot better when they stay relaxed, when they stay loose. They're very natural. How many times you've heard a boxing coach or kickboxing coach say, stay loose, just relax, just go with the flow, just be natural, go. Everything comes from that space. And the other thing you'll notice with all athletes is they'll constantly go, take deep, relaxing breaths. Why? Because it helps them to perform much better. Now, they may not consciously know this from a scientific point of view, but they do. I know, because I was an athlete all the way until I was about 32, 33 years old. Even in the movie Fight Club, there's a main scene. Now, there's a couple of them, but there's one where he's like, just let go. Now, when it comes to narcissist abuse, their whole thing is about control. Well, what are you doing? You're putting yourself down at that small point of the tip, and you can't breathe, you can't function, you can't see the bigger picture, you're totally disconnected from your intuition, and on and on. It's a horrible place to be. It's a very low level of intelligence as well, because you're not accessing your greater intelligence. Alright, so now, where do you think caffeine takes you? Yep, right down to that tip. It puts you in your forehead, your pupils get small, you make it talk like this, and you get stressed and frustrated. Like maybe in the beginning it's fun, but then after about an hour or two, you just it's like you're stuck. So one thing I noticed as I was driving down the road, I saw this one dude, he was pissed. You could just tell he was angry. And so I pulled up and pulled over into the right lane. There was a 4-lane road, one-way road, and he just gunned it, and he pulled in front of a car and slowed down, and he flipped the guy off like, oh, you almost hit me. And it's like, dude, you totally caused that, like you almost caused an accident. But you could tell he was frustrated, and he needed someone or something to take it out on. And all he really needed to do is just do some deep breathing and cut back on the damn caffeine. Alright, so as I said in the last video, addictions are nothing more than you being stuck in this tip. And here's the deal. Especially for men, they've been stuck in this tip for so long, they don't know there's any other way. They think this is just the way life is. You got to stay focused all the time. You got to be here, you got to be linear, got to be logical. You don't know there's another space to go to, and they don't know how to get there. Now let's say you've stretched for 30 minutes to an hour and doing deep breathing, and you just feel, you feel so relaxed. You feel physically and emotionally grounded, right? Let's say you've done yoga class, you got the same thing. You got a good workout and you just, I just feel relaxed. Now, imagine that times 10 to the 10th power. In other words, like 1,000, maybe even 100,000 times more, completely, totally letting go. Completely open, completely relaxed. Oh, by the way, if a narcissist is listening to this right now, they're probably freaking out. They cannot. The idea of letting go just freaks them out. In their world, everything must be under control, especially their emotions. There's no letting go. So here's the deal. I work with a lot of clients, especially men, and when I pop them open, when they're just, it's like this, like, a nuclear bomb just expands. That's what it's like when you let go. And letting go is not something, a lot of clients, especially male clients, because the left brain is the control brain. It's like grabbing, reaching, pulling, pushing. The right brain is literally just opening up to receive. You're literally just letting go and receiving. This is a foreign concept to men. But I would say also to some women at this point in time, because of computers and technology, that's very left brain. So here's my point. When these guys have this experience, they're like, whoa, what the hell is that? It's like, one thing I have to tell them to get them to the point, this is one of the examples. It takes a lot more than this, but it's like, you don't do anything. And they're like, what do you mean I don't do anything? Like, well, then how do I do it? I go, you don't. It's like a balloon filled with helium. All you do is let it go, and you allow it to float up. So your awareness not only goes up, but it expands out in a circular from left, right, front, back, all the way out. Here's the deal. That is the best way for me to explain it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to replay Adam's video and listen to what he's saying. This is the closest experience I can get you to understand, because my client's like, dude, what is this? I'm like, yeah, it's awesome, huh? So it's like being on a drug.
It was more like, wow, I feel good, like just serenity, feeling good, feeling peaceful, feeling comfortable, but also like feeling strong, recharged. And it was amazing. It was amazing contrast. And the other thing, like Mike said, is he's in California, I'm in the UK. I was like, how the hell do you do that? And so I've had energy healing before, and I get that it could be remote, but this was like potent. I've had energy healing before where I felt relaxed and I felt influence and stuff, but this was like on another level. This was like I got knocked the hell out. I woke up really peaceful.
Yeah, one thing I want to point out is the way, because we obviously spoke about this before. He had mentioned, like, it's like I just got up. It wasn't a battle. It wasn't this conflicting, okay, get enthusiastic, get out of bed. It was just like, wow. It's like, because most people have the brakes on to life. Most people don't want to get out of bed. They don't want to go to work. They don't want to face their day. They don't want to deal with people, because most people are like in this stuck kind of like forehead kind of stuck, what I call stuck energy. And what happened was I opened up his energy. This is what I did. I opened up, I don't want to use too technical terms, but I basically opened up his energy field. So there was no resistance. So now you're like, well, just get out of bed. Like, oh, okay. Like it was easy, wasn't it?
Yeah, I was very peaceful, very relaxed. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was like, yeah, just an amazing feeling. Yeah, it was good. Now, like I said, this morning when I had that healing session, I felt like new, like a kid again. Like,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, just refreshed, new. I felt like I was 17 again, but it's funny, I've got a lot of reference to being a kid because it was this energy and enthusiasm and almost like an innocence about me that I'd reclaimed, and it wasn't being lost in my sort of chaotic ways of today, I guess, adult life and stuff that we do.
Okay, so this is where Jesus says, I tell you the truth, unless you change and become like little children, you will never enter the kingdom of heaven. So let's go back over what Adam just said. So first of all, what I'm doing is I'm opening people up to the spiritual side. I'm opening them up to the right brain, which is the emotional, spiritual, creative brain, which is the brain which is childlike. It's playful, it's fun, it's free. So at this point, if you've been following my videos for the last 2 or 3 months or more, I think you're starting to realize I'm actually doing the work of God. I'm doing the work of Jesus. I don't mean I'm doing Jesus's work, but I'm doing the same work that he had passed down to his disciples.
Feeling, yeah, it's good. Now, like I said, this morning when I had that healing session, I felt like new, like a kid again. Like,
sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, just refreshed, new. I felt like I was 17 again, but it's funny, I've got a lot of reference to being a kid because it was this energy and enthusiasm and almost like an innocence about me that I'd reclaimed, and it wasn't being lost in my sort of chaotic ways of today, I guess, adult life and stuff that we do.
Now, another thing that Adam shared with me that blew my mind, and it's not something we worked on ever. And remember, this is we've only done that one energy healing session. Adam immediately stopped drinking coffee, black tea, energy pills, energy drinks, which he's been doing for a long time. Okay, when you woke up in the morning, how many cups of coffee did you normally have? About.
So when I was working with, before that energy healing session, I was on a pattern of having like double shot espressos in the morning. And I needed it. It was an addiction. It was like an absolute, like, it wasn't like I could take it or leave it. I absolutely had to have it. And that morning when I woke up, I was like, oh, I don't want to. I literally remember, I was like, I don't want to ruin this energy. This energy is so nice. I
Mhm.
felt so good that it was like, I was scared of even eating at one point. I was like, I wanted to eat clean and just nothing to aggravate my mood, my vibe. 'Cause it felt really good.
Yeah. And so I don't know if you've ever tried to stop doing caffeine before, but I've heard stories of people who drink coffee every day for years, and it's like literally after 4 or 5 days, they are just their stomach's dying. They're some people get burning needles in their legs, like their body physically hurts. They get headaches. Have you ever heard any of this stuff?
Yeah, I've quit caffeine before,
Mhm.
but it's taken me a lot of willpower, a lot of time. It's taken me up to 6 months sometimes to say I'm going to quit it. It's really difficult, and I've had headaches. I felt boring, like something's changed my personality, stuff like that. Really weird stuff. And like I said, this morning when I had that healing session, I felt like new, like a kid again. Like,
And
Okay, so now I have a Benev. Now a Benev is talking about this experience. This was from a while ago, so it was an older camera. So maybe not the greatest video quality sound, but listen to what he says. Because when I try to explain this experience to people, you can't put it into words. Like it is the most expansive, open, freeing feeling you'll ever. It's like all your worries are gone. Everything, all the stress, it's all gone. Okay, so I guess talk. So what's it feel like now?
Feels like in the car, it felt like I was on just like a drug.
Doesn't it feel like it like now though? Or what do you mean? It's
It's
different?
a little bit less, but man, in the car, it was just like I was on the best drug ever.
Right.
Just way fucking relaxed, way fucking open, just clear as fuck.
Would you say the reason why most people do drugs is because they're trying to get where you're at right now?
Yeah.
Do you understand how people are holding back and how that's keeping them from their happiness?
Yeah, I see that now. Right before we did what we did today, I remember sitting in the car and being kind of uptight, just
Speak a little bit louder.
I remember feeling the tightness in the car before we went out and did the thing.
Right.
And right after I got in the car, it was just like a world apart, Man, that was pretty good. And right now, we're standing behind a Target.
Describe the difference between, you said before you did it you felt A, and then now you feel what? So describe A first.
It's just, I feel like that's how normal people go through life. You feel tight. You feel
Stressed.
stressed, yeah.
For no reason.
Yeah, you feel just, that's normal life. You just accept it after such a long time. And afterwards, it was just like letting go of the brakes, just boom, And I realized that it is just that easy. You can just do it anytime you want.
Right. So we looked at the mountain over here, or massive hill. I don't know how well my cell phone's picking up. I see it in the view thing. So when I said, now that you look at it, what does it look like now? What did you say?
It feels solid.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, I've been living here for about 11 years, and we see the hills every day.
Right.
And they're more of just an image. You see them in the background every day. But now when I look at it today, it's like I'm seeing it for the first time. I can feel its solidity. I think I said to you when you asked me that.
Yeah, right.
It feels like it's made of earth and stone for the first time.
Say that a little bit louder. Just speak louder. Just do it.
It feels like it's made of real stuff, real stone and earth.
Yeah, I
for
think
the
you
first
said.
time.
I think you said like real rocks and stones and dirt. Is that what you said?
Yeah. it just looks real. It feels real. So
did you notice how you went from all your life, you've been here, would you say 11 years?
yeah,
You grew up here, and you never looked at that mountain and really saw how solid and how real it is. So people, what we did with the Benev was we opened him up to his consciousness. We woke him up. There's so many different ways to explain it. So what I said to Benev was, I said it to him a while ago, but now I said, now do you understand what I mean when I walk around and say those people are asleep?
yeah, I get the picture now.
You feel like you're awake now?
Yeah.
All right.
The colors are way more brighter.
Say that louder. Let him hear it.
The colors are way more brighter. Like, I can smell the fresh air. I can hear the birds. I can for first time in my life, I think I'm paying attention to my own voice. Yeah, and Mike showed you guys that view right there, and it was a little bit brighter, but man, even right now, it's bright as fuck.
Yeah, you can really see the. Okay, he said it's bright as fuck, so you can really see the colors and the hues and the different. Now, do you understand?
Yeah.
See, I've been saying this to him for a long time. So, oh yeah, okay, and I could tell because he goes into his ego. Oh, okay, but I was like, yeah, he doesn't get it yet, but he will. You get it now, don't you?
Yeah.
Is there anything else you want to say about life or about this experience, about anything we've done?
You can change your life right now, this second. I was kind of waiting for the right time, but you just do it.
Yes.
Just fucking do it.
All right, so the last thing I want to say is people, they hear me say, hey, you can change. It's just kind of like, oh, okay. It kind of goes over their head. Like, people don't understand the level that your life can change when you work with someone who is as highly trained at NLP, Ericksonian hypnosis, timeline therapy, and different forms of energy healing. You can radically shift. You don't have to suffer anymore, whether it's dating, relationships, marriage, whether it's just living your life. We have new answers, especially in my course, Cracked Female Code, for dating, relationships, and marriage. Men can learn how to open up to the right brain and speak the deeper, mentally stimulating and emotionally fulfilling language. Get out there, make it happen. If you need help, get a hold of me at mikecolleen.com. Alright guys, I want to say goodbye for this video. Remember, click subscribe, click that like button, make a comment, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.